Hey, what's going on, friends? My name is John Waldman. I'm a filmmaker based in New York. And today I want to talk about my new favorite camera, the Olympus Stylus 35mm f3.5 point and shoot camera. All right, so just right off the back, what do I love about this thing? I mean, you can see, look how small it is. I mean, it just, I could fit it, look, right in my pocket, boom, and there it is. So yeah, I love that for travel. You can put it in your front pocket, put it in your back pocket, it pops out real easily. It's like the smallest point and shoot camera that I've really ever shot with, and I've had quite a few at this point, and actually this is my third copy of this, but we'll get to that later. And so talking about it being perfect for travel, so yeah, this camera is very inexpensive compared to my digital cameras. Those cost 10 times more the price, so that is great for travel. God forbid you lose this, you're out $200 as opposed to $2,000-3,000 or maybe even more. But between it being much smaller and a lot cheaper, it really makes it a great option for travel. Another thing I love in that this is a point and shoot, everything is automatic. You only need to focus on your composition. That's it. You look through the viewfinder, you see something you like, bam, snap, that's it. It kind of makes the process of shooting a lot more fun. You're not fiddling there with the settings. All you have to do is focus on your composition and just capturing that moment. Another thing, I love that it is a 35mm lens. I've used other point and shoots and rangefinders and SLR lens cameras, whether, 38mm, 40mm, 50mm. Obviously with an SLR camera, I could change the focal length, but 35mm is the perfect focal length. Whether we're talking about film, whatever it is, that is a desert island focal length for me. You could get your wide shots, you could get your close-ups. There's just something about it. It's the most versatile focal length. I love this, when I'm going out, having some fun with my friends, going out at night, whether going to a bar or club, whatever it may be. It's just really fun. It's like a party camera. Think about the last scene in The Hangover. You go through the photos, holy shit. I've been bringing this on bachelor trips, vacations, even just random nights in the weekend when I'm going out with friends, and you're able to just capture some moments that are quite honestly really hysterical and fun, and all my friends love them, I love them. I'm able to bring a camera like this in places and scenarios where I wouldn't want to lug around my expensive, Sony setup. Also so you have different modes and stuff on here, and honestly, I'm not an expert on this, but you have the auto flash mode, but you could turn it off if you see a scene that you just know you don't want any flash on it. The meter in here is incredible. I mean, everything is automatic. I've used, Canon point and shoot cameras where you had to dial in, and even maybe my Nikon one too, but you had to dial in your ISO of your film stock. This is just fully automatic, so it's very impressive considering it's just cool technology considering how old it is, and again, you don't have to mess with any of the settings. And honestly, I've gotten some of my favorite photos ever with this thing, whether it's from vacation, a fun night out, whatever it may be. It's just, there's something about it, just love it. And also, so just kind of back on the lens, it really actually has some nice character, a little bit of a bokeh. And just this camera and the lens, there's just something about these photos, I can't put my finger on it, but they're so freaking crispy. And it's really not something that digital can emulate. First off, the button, it's over here that you need to rewind the film. It is so small and it's really hard to press. You need to get a pen or a paper clip, something tiny and pointy. It's good because it protects the film from rewinding easily, but it is kind of a hassle. So I keep a paper clip in my wallet just for this. The actual viewfinder is really, really small. I think it's a little too small. I wish it was a little bigger. You really gotta what the? Another thing, being that it's vintage and they don't make these new, there is a scarcity of them. And with that in mind, the price of it keeps getting more expensive and expensive. Think about, this thing must have been so cheap. There's nothing really technology-wise that's that crazy. It's June 2023. You're probably spending at least $200 on a solid copy of this. Keep that in mind. If you want one, snag one while you can, because they're only gonna get more scarce and condition is only gonna get worse. Another thing, I love the flash, it's great, it works good, but it is really bright. People are gonna be like, holy shit. So you might blind some people with this, just keep that in mind, especially probably get some funny faces from people that are not in your photo, but to the side. Just note it is very, very bright. This is my third copy. This might just be a personal problem, because it is a plastic camera. It's very nice, but it's nothing crazy. They're old. My last copy, the autofocus, just decided to crap out. I don't know what happened. The other copy that I have was my fault. That was water damage in the lake. That's all me, but the last one just like decided to stop working. So this one's been great. I've already probably put it through like 10 rolls over, maybe a few months now, but just keep that in mind that maybe these are a little fragile. You got to keep them with care. Next up, I want to talk, why do I love shooting on film? Let's just talk about film. With digital cameras, everything, it's so perfect, sharp, clinical. You have all the options in the world when it comes to color grading, editing, with these raw images, you could push and pull them in so many different ways, which is great. But honestly, I find myself, when I shoot photos with my Sony a7R III or my FX3 and I shoot them for fun, I feel like it takes me a really long time to actually get around to editing them because I'm so indecisive with it. I don't know what look I want to go for. And what's nice with film is you choose the film stock, you take the photo, you get them developed. That's it. There's your photo. That in-between process is already completed. Now listen, that's not to say I don't do any post-production on these, but what I do after I get the scans, I put them into Lightroom. I usually make my selects, if any photos are messed up, basic corrections like fixing a horizon, maybe recropping a little, and then if I need to tweak the contrast a little, maybe I'll do a little, but I'm never really tweaking color or anything. But even that is like 95% less of the stuff that I would do with a normal raw image from, let's say, a Sony a7R III. So I kind of love that experience of choose the film stock, get the photos back. That's it. You don't have to sit there and think, oh, what color profile? How should I grade this? That is a really fun process. And another thing I love about that is you shoot the photos and there's no looking at the back of the viewfinder. You don't get the instant gratification or review when you're shooting with film. There's no playback option on this. You shoot the photos, you have to get it developed, and then you get it back. And sometimes, a lot of times, you don't even remember what photos you shot, and then it makes it so much more special when you get it back. You're like, oh man, I remember this moment. So I love that about that. Another thing on that note, the film that I'm shooting with, you get 36 shots with this. With that, you have to be a little bit more mindful and not just, when I'm shooting on the A7R, I could shoot at continuous 10 frames a second. I could be done with a whole roll of film in 4 seconds if that was film. But because of that, you have to be more mindful. I like to take my time, make sure my composition is good. If I'm not feeling it, maybe I'll take it back because remember, film ain't cheap. A roll of film, what is it, 15, 20 bucks? And then developing is another 15, 20 bucks to get scanned. So math-wise, maybe it comes out to about $1 a photo between shooting and getting the scan back. So anyways, that's just something to keep in mind because it's an expense. I really enjoy that about film. So yeah, and just like one little tip for shooting film when you're getting a film camera, get a test roll out there really quick. Let's say you're buying from somewhere where they have a 30-day return policy or somewhere. Get some film, shoot real quick and send it out to a place. I've had cameras that I bought, I shot a test roll, I got them back and the camera just didn't work or it was all messed up. So that is a word of advice. And real quick, I'll just kind of show you how I load the film up. Pop it open, put the film in, roll it out. There's these little teeth. Just make sure you pull enough out to where it's snugly in there. So yeah, this copy was messed up. The door, it's supposed to click, or I have to close it manually. The other copies close automatically. And then you'll hear a sound and a reset, and then bam, you're ready to go. And then to rewind the film is just you click that little button right there and you'll see the numbers going down. All right guys, that's about it for today. I freaking love this camera. My friends love this camera. Everyone loves this camera. Shooting film is really fun, especially a point and shoot and the fact that it's so small. But anyways guys, that's about it today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was very excited to make a video about this camera because it's just been bringing me so much joy. That's about it. Cheers, y'all. Bye.